Hello there everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Mods for Monday. I've been wanting to do something like this for a really long time, but I've got heavily into modding at the moment, so I thought this is the perfect time to do this. So in these videos, we're just going to be going through some really cool mods that I've found, some that have been suggested to me, and we're just going to be showing them off and just seeing how they feel. And yes, these videos will be coming out on a Monday. I will eventually be doing all sorts of games, but for now I'm just going to be focusing on Skyrim, mainly because I've been playing a lot of it on vanilla, and I've also been doing a heavily modded roleplay playthrough as well. I'm just having so much fun in this game. For our first mod, this one is called DovaJump, and I really don't understand why Bethesda didn't implement something like this in the first place or in the anniversary edition. But what it does is it takes away that really boring jump animation and adds something a bit more cooler. Some would say more immersive than the vanilla one. There are a few types of jumps, but they are usually different each time you jump around, even if you've got your weapon drawn. As you can see, I've got a two-handed greatsword, and the jump animation still works perfectly fine. I never had no issues with it. I spent so much time jumping around Whiterun, up high, on the walls, sprint jumping, with my weapon out. It was awesome. Some of the guards did look at me with quite the confusion on their face. Overall, I think this is a great mod that you should definitely download. As we move on to our second mod. This one, of course, we're going to add some weapon mods into this. It's called Ragecleaver. This brute of a weapon is a two-handed greatsword, and it is way bigger than your character. I sat there and thought to myself, how can we carry it? Well, we are Dovahking. To get this sword, it is really simple. All you need to do is just head over to the Sundered Towers. If you haven't found this place yet, just head southwest from Morphal. Upon arriving, you will be met by a lot of Forswarm, and I mean a lot. There is loads all the way up here. But you don't have to go through them, you can go around the back, because all you need is to head to the back of location, just head northeast, and you will see the sword sticking out the ground. The way this weapon works is actually pretty cool. So once you start attacking your foes, you will begin these things called stacks. I'll just put the description up from the Nexus mod page, because it's going to be way easier for you to understand. But I think what they've got here is, if you want to use a weapon like this, is pretty cool, because obviously the more that you're attacking, you get like these little side perks, which I think is pretty fantastic. For our third mod, we are heading down that path to all you wizards out there. This one is called Wizarding Traversal Magic, and this gives you 3 really cool spells that you can buy from someone who sells magic. But for you, I'll tell you the easiest place to get it. Just go to Winterhold, go into the main room, and speak to Tolfdir. He will sell you all 3 books. So albeit that these spells, they are not alteration, but they do come at the cost of the alteration skill line. So you will need to be at least level 75 to be able to use these spells. That's kind of why it makes sense to go to Tolfdir, because he is a master of alteration. So let's take a look at these. Our first one is called Mist Apparition. This will create a mist around us, turning us invulnerable. With that, we can do one of 2 things. The first is to jump quite high and further for a short time. The second will allow us to run faster for a short time. Both of these you can use to evade some really dangerous combat situations. So say you've gone into an area and, I don't know, you're not skilled enough, high enough level, or the enemies, they're dealing a lot of damage and you need to get away. You can use these to evade them all perfectly. Get out, heal yourself, and then jump back in. Our next one is called Apparition. This will instantly teleport you to a distant location. Usually it is the area that you are looking. So it will move you from one place to another at the snap of the fingers. Again, this is great for getting you out of those combat situations where you're about to die. So you can get out of there again, heal up, jump back in, or you can jump in, get a few attacks, jump out the way, and jump back in for those foes that are a lot harder to kill. So for this third spell, I personally really like it, because throughout Skyrim, I'm not too keen on using the fast travel, but if I have to go halfway across the map, I will use it. But normally I like to run around the woods, meeting people, fighting bandits, uncovering secrets. But what this will do is it will add more immersion to your playthrough. So if you are building up let's say a mage build, it will cast a spell that will teleport you to your desired location, and it will create like a little portal in front of you that you will go in and your character will jump out. So it's like you are using the fast travel while staying immersive in the game. I just think this is a great touch. for those who don't really like using the fast travel. As we move on to our 4th mod, this is, oh yes, another weapon one, and I do hope I can pronounce this right. It is called Norguldar or Norguldar. I don't know. Give it a go. Tell me I'm wrong, because I probably am. This is, yet again, another awesome looking sword, and it is also really easy to find. All you need to do is go to the end of Bleakfall's Barrow, where you find that dragon stone, where you learn your very first dragon shout, if you are following the campaign, and the look of it is really awesome. The engravements that it's got in both the hilt all down to the blade, they glow as well. Who doesn't like glowing engravements? I just think this is a really awesome looking sword, but there is a downside. But there is also an upside, I'd say. It doesn't have any effects when you pick it up, I know, but you can fully enchant it to whatever enchantments that you have on your person or you're going to learn in the future. So it's pretty cool. So you get this awesome looking sword and you can enchant it to how you like it. So once you've picked this up, you can create more of it at the blacksmith's forge, which is also the place you need to be to upgrade it, because you don't upgrade it like you normally do. So once you've got it, head to the forge and go and search the weapon up. You will see it will say Norguldar T1 to 7. Those are tiers. So obviously tier 1 is the weakest version of it. Tier 7 is the strongest version of it. If you want the strongest version, you've got to create them to get to T7. But for those who aren't really interested in a two-handed weapon, don't worry, the mod's got you, because you can get this as a one-handed weapon, but you still need to go and pick it up. You can't just go to the blacksmith's forge to create it. You've got to pick it up, come back to the blacksmith's forge, create it, but the weapon needs to be T1. So overall, it is a pretty cool looking sword. I like it. I probably won't ever use it. I'll probably just take it back home and hang it up, just something to look at when I'm not doing anything. But finally, we come to our last mod. Now this adds location extra, something more for us to dive into and look at. It is called Solitude Docks. I did find quite a few of these, but all the ones that I had downloaded were really buggy, and they had issues with some of the other mods that I had downloaded, but this one I had no trouble with, and it still looks really awesome. What it does is it transforms. That word, transforms, doesn't just build upon, transforms the Solitude Docks into something so much better. It makes it bigger. Some say bigger is better. It also puts more buildings in all those empty spaces that just got nothing there. It expands all the docking bays, adding more ships that there was before. There is also a trade market, which is kind of what you'd expect to be at the docks. Ships come in, goods being unloaded, people are going to sell them at the docks. And it also adds loads of new NPCs, and they do all talk. A lot of the mods that I've downloaded, the NPCs don't talk, but this one, you can actually interact with a few of them and speak to some of them. I really like this as it adds more depth and exploration to your playthroughs. So there you have it. That is the first episode of Mods for Monday. All of these mods that I've spoken about and shown you, they are all going to be down in that description below for you to go and try them all. They're super easy to download. I had no issues with downloading them, so please go check them out. Also, if you know of any really good mods, please put them down in the comments below. I want to mod Skyrim as much as the game will physically let me. I want to keep changing the game so it's a whole brand new experience, as I'm loving modding this game right now. But for now, thanks for coming by, checking out the video. I really appreciate it. If you like what you see, please leave a like, consider subscribing to the channel, and I will see you next week for another episode of Mods for Monday.